Hey, Doug Walker here. I just got done watching season 4 of Clone Wars, and if the setup looks a little different, I'm trying a little something with the mic. I'm using the usual mic, but I'm also trying the one I use for streaming to see which one sounds better. So just testing out a little bit, and you might even notice the difference. Anyway, I am going to talk about the 4th season of Clone Wars. I'm surprisingly getting through these pretty fast. Part of that might be, I try to watch them in the morning when I work out, and usually when one episode's over or close to over, it's like, okay, I'm done with the workout, let me go get to work and everything. But sometimes they're so good, like I'm like, oh, I gotta see the next one. And the funny thing about this one is that I find man, it's not that difficult to remember because there's 4 stories? Something like that. They tried something really interesting this season, and they stretched out some of the stories so that, each arc might be something like 5 or 6 episodes, which was really interesting. And for the most part, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. Now, with that said, I'm still going to use my cheat sheet here. I'm still looking at the site to look at the episodes. So I can talk about them in order. The first one, the first arc, I should say, is the one with the Mon Calamari. That must have been a name before it got to Clone Wars. I'm sure they were like, Admiral Akbar, what's he called? And Lucas is like, oh, I got it. Mon Calamari. That's so bad. Anyway, but you got a whole underwater world going on. I'm going to straighten this out a little bit because it's driving me nuts. Sorry. Okay, anyway. So you got this underwater world that's under attack by these shark people. That was another one that was a little obvious to me, but they still look kind of cool. And a lot of it is about this prince trying to figure out, when's the right time to fight, when not, when's the right time to lead, how to lead. I find a lot of this series, especially in this season, I feel, really kind of discusses the philosophies of war and how tricky they are. I really, for a setup, where the good guys wear white and the bad guys wear black, something very simplified like that. I like that they keep trying to blur the line a little bit between what's right and wrong. And even the original Star Wars did that with Empire Strikes Back and Darth Vader. You find out who he's related to and stuff. So this isn't anything that new, but I like that they continue to dive more and more into it, into what's the right choice for the moment, might be the wrong choice later, and vice versa. So I really like that. The follow-up arc, again, is about the clones, which I think might be my favorite characters. I must have said that before, but that they're really great. I really love them in this, and really ask some good questions about being a soldier, about following orders, and when you do and when you don't. They get a new general, and general has different ways of doing stuff, and a lot of times puts their lives at risk, which they're always at risk, but, this is something where it's like, no, there's a better way. Do we obey the orders? Do we not? And I guess I won't give it away, though you've probably already seen it. But it really does ask, difficult questions, like questions where if you've ever been in the Army or Navy or on a police force or anything like that, or even just work a job where somebody wants you to do something that maybe you disagree with or something. No, but more the military side, because they are training you to constantly follow orders. That's a really, really big part. And this isn't the first series to ask, well, how far do you go with it? How far do you follow orders? What's ethically right or wrong? But this is one, especially for, again, younger viewers. I think throwing out the idea that this is for younger kids. This really seems like it's for the Batman animated series crowd. It's just anything else, the body count, Jesus, it just keeps piling up. I'm sure I said that in every video, but they just keep adding more and more, and they get more and more gruesome. But I really feel like the questions they ask with it just become trickier and trickier. And what I really like about having 4 or 5 episodes dedicated to it is that you really put yourself in these soldiers' place. What would you do? Because I've always, especially my dad was in the Navy and everything, I always respected the not the determination, what am I looking for? the discipline. I really respected the discipline that when you're told to do something, you do it. You're trained to do that. Like, that's how wars are won. Definitely it's everyone coming together doing, the one mission and then doing it over and over with other missions. But there is always the good question of, when is it wrong? When is, the person giving you the orders wrong? And when do you do something different? And what are the consequences you're willing to pay for that? And it's not, again, even though the ending kind of makes it clear, I still feel like throughout the majority of this arc, it is really, really testing you. Like, what would you do? And I don't think it's an easy answer. I really don't. So I really, really enjoy that arc. We have another one where Anakin goes to this planet that's pretty much, I don't know how you put it, a slave planet? Is that a thing? I don't know. I don't know how you would put it, but it's a planet that uses slaves to do a lot of their labor, and he has this real, very clearly, this real hatred for it, not just because he's obviously against that, but because he came from a family of slaves, and this is the first one where, I like, they do Anakin much better in this than any of the prequels or anything, but this is the first one where I'm watching it, especially when he's talking to this, this queen, this empress, whatever, and I'm like, I'm watching Darth Vader right now. Like, you see the, just the laser eyes and, he's giving her, and you see how just passionate he is about, I hate everything you stand for, I'm gonna get you, kind of thing. I just was watching, it's like, there he is, there's Darth Vader, and I think that's the first time I've ever said that with, young Anakin Skywalker, with, Hayden Christensen designed Anakin Skywalker. Even when he had the Darth Vader outfit on, he wasn't Darth Vader. No! Like, that's not Darth Vader! So I was really impressed with that. And again, those episodes were fine. I mean, they weren't like necessarily my favorite. Excuse me, I'm scrolling down here. You have another arc about these bounty hunters where Obi-Wan has to pretend to be dead, and he takes on a different identity, which, and that is always the thing in these in these movies and shows. There's so many shapeshifters and so many ways you can disguise yourself. There's also like these hologram projections that make you look like someone else. I'm like, I feel like these could have been used like a million times in the Star Wars universe. It would have been nice to make that clear, but also fantasy. I'm reading too deep into that, but you got these bounty hunters, and they're put through these constant tests, which are great. I mean, again, just a whole episode get dedicated to these tests are great. Again, I think you find yourself asking, well, even if, like, let's say you were a part of this code or whatever, would you help this person? Would you not? They're all trying to kind of, kill each other off, but they also have to kind of work together. So this season in particular, I found myself a lot of the time saying, what would I do in that situation? I really like a series or a movie or even just a story that has me asking that. And again, what I really like is that the show does such a good job explaining more and more why Anakin switched over to becoming Darth Vader. And just the more I watch it, I'm like, man, because you see him so betrayed and so pissed off because he thinks Obi-Wan is dead. And he finds out later that he's not, and they say, well, if you knew, I mean, you're emotional, you don't follow orders and everything, so this could have really, really, set things off. This could have been bad, though I think you could argue it's kind of worse the other way, because he goes and does a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and I was kind of thinking it would have probably made more sense just to tell him. But again, they still do a really, really good job showing that switch and why he would disagree with the ways the Jedi do things, and that they don't trust him. And even more why the Jedi don't trust him. You never really got that in the prequels. What they say, like, you can be on the council, but you can't be a Jedi, and I'm always kind of watching it like, why? You say he's not trustworthy, but he's not really doing anything that I'm trying. I think the one thing with the Sand People, which granted is a biggie, but it's like, I don't even think the Jedi knew about that. So this does better to really, really fill in the blanks. And then the last one, yeah, man, this was fucking cool. So, it's funny, when I saw Darth Maul in Phantom Menace, like, he looked cool. Of course, he fought great. Ray Park, is that his name? His fighting's phenomenal, and he did a great job choreographing that. But what do you have? 2 lines, something like that, and he just looked like this and had the buggy eyes, and that was about it. In this one, they bring him back, and I wasn't really excited for that because I'm like, well, I don't give a shit about Darth Maul. I don't know anything about him. He didn't say anything. He fought cool, but a bunch of characters fight cool in this. Why do I want to see this guy back? Man, they just turned him into like a Shakespeare character. Like, even down to how he speaks. He's like this very eloquent talking character. I mean, he sounds like Kenneth Branagh, like giving these monologues. And I'm just like, oh my God, this might be one of my new favorite characters in this show. Like, he suddenly became so fascinating. And on top of that, the journey they have to get him back. I mean, he's like crazy at first, and he's like quivering, and he doesn't know what's real and everything. Like, that was fascinating. Even if I didn't know him, like, I know him at the end of the show, again, very, very eloquent and everything. Just to see this tough character suddenly reduced to, this quivering, kind of like he had like these metal spider legs and he was hiding in the shadows and stuff. I mean, it was something where it's like, wow, okay, like that's such an interesting contrast. And then it makes it more interesting when he says brother. I forget, are they brothers? I forget how that planet works. There's so many details to how these worlds work. But someone certainly very, very close to him, like a brother, if not an actual brother, it goes and gets him. And then you see, like, he saves him. I mean, he, like, gives him life again. And then it kind of switches. Maul's like, no, you're my apprentice. We got to do it this way. This is how the Sith work and everything. And you see kind of the dynamic there and the power struggle. So, yeah, all of that won me over. And then on top of that, just everything about that planet with the Night Sisters and just how it works and the way it looks and everything about it just really intrigues me. That's probably the one where a lot of the planets are, the whole planet's a desert, the whole planet's a city, the whole planet is ice. It's like, I mean, that's cool. I'm not going to act like it isn't, but you kind of get the idea. This is one where it's like, okay, here's how this works. Here's how this whole system is set up. Here's where different characters live. Here's why they're doing what they're doing. Here's how they're doing it. And that planet in specifically, I'm like, just how, like, I'm just so fascinated by this world. And I feel like they give just enough information every single time. And there's a great fight that happens on that planet with the Night Sisters. And then you follow Ventress. She's kind of trying to search for herself now, because a lot of her people are gone. And then you have Boba Fett comes back as a kid. Again, you kind of see him being developed as well. And yeah, it still really works. It's just a really, really solid, good show. And I don't know if it's weird. I'm split on, like, the story arcs, because I'm really split on it, because I like that each one I don't know quite what I'm going to get, and that's going to be kind of like a surprise if I get one that, crosses over episodes. But with this one, like I said, there's something like only 4 or 5 major stories, and all the episodes are dedicated to them. So I didn't know how to feel about that. I'm wondering what you guys thought about that when you were watching it. Did you like them a little bit more episodic, and then it was more spread out when there were arching episodes, or was it more that you like sort of these longer stories because you could get to know the people and characters and situations a lot more? Because you definitely do. So I don't know. I'm still split on that. I want to see how the next season does it, because I'm assuming they're gonna do more of that, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm still liking it, man. It's surprising me all the things that it's winning me over with. I didn't think I was going to like the clones. Why would I like the clones? They make him interesting. I didn't think I would like Darth Maul coming back. They make him really interesting. Anakin, wooden, boring Anakin is really fascinating. A lot of these bounty hunters are great. And they have these distinct personalities and voices. Count Dooku. I mean, I remember he was, even though it's Christopher Lee, like one of my favorite actors, I was just like, oh, but he's a nothing. He just goes, ho ho, and that was it in the prequels. Like, he's fascinating. So I really love that this is really taking these ideas that Lucas came up with and just really exploring them. And they have the time to explore them. They have the technology and the artistry to explore them. So I'm still digging it, man. So yeah, there's 3 more seasons left. I guess 2 of them are like kind of like half seasons. So yeah, I'm actually getting through this a lot faster than I thought, which is making me happy. I can get to the other Disney shows as well. But on top of that, just a good show, man. I'm just really digging it. So, what'd you guys think of season 4? Let me know your thoughts, and I guess I'll see you at season 5. Take care.